Now, I think that we could all safely agree here that Disney has had by far their absolute worst year throughout 2023 based on the ongoing box office failures, the uncontrollable Disney stock that's really been going in an up and down roller coaster, and we also know that there's a lot of things happening right now behind closed doors with Bob Iger's strategy with DEI and ESG getting spilled into all these different brands related to Disney. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, there's been a lot of things going on between Elon Musk and Bob Iger. We all know about this, and it's something that is not good right now for Disney because they know that they were in a delicate position to begin with throughout all of 2023, and this is only bringing more negative attention to themselves. I'm not defending Disney, by the way, by any means. I'm just saying this is not looking good for Disney's future in the least. Now, what's even all the more revealing about Disney is exactly what Bob Iger had to deliver of what's going to happen in the next couple of years about all of their different products, whether it be the Disney parks or the movies and television shows, etc., and it's not looking good in the least. Now, we know that their current slate of Disney movies will be announced by next year to really expand their roadmap of Disney live-action material that will be getting adaptations from the animated material from many years ago. So let's dive into this further, shall we? Now, everything about Bob Iger, we gotta talk about Bob Iger because this man really likes to string along the shareholders and the public. However, with Disney actively making the worst decisions for next year and beyond, one major development has to do with Bob Iger's recent announcement that spells doom for all brands associated with Disney. Bob Iger went on to deliver the following to everyone. As CEO, I believe it is my responsibility to be very transparent in our goals for the future with all of our projects moving onwards, in order to embrace original content for both our films and television programs for our Disney Plus business model. We have in pure interest to pursue original stories by diverting from source material for our upcoming Marvel installments as standalones to shift away from sequels along with putting the source material to the side for our upcoming live-action adaptations of our popular animated projects from decades ago. Our role is promoting DEI into our projects that will continue as we look to transform the Disney company, and this goes for all the divisions in our entertainment field. We look forward to introducing DEI into our future Frozen films and upcoming live-action works such as remakes of others that we have already established. Those like Moana, Lilo and Stitch, Sword in the Stone, Hercules, and much more will also get this treatment. Our plan to shift away from source material and introducing DEI into these stories will also allow us to create and embrace new original stories for a new generation to bring Disney into a successful era beyond our imagination of what was possible. Now, let me just say one thing about Bob Iger real quick before I move on to what he has to establish. Now, the problem that I have with Bob Iger is that he is putting it out there like ESG is such an innocent thing and everything with DEI is so, done out of, good intentions, and it's not. And look, I know it's all about equality, and at the same exact time they want to embrace, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and it's all hypocritical, it's all contradictory, it all goes back against each other, it makes no sense. And I bring this up all the time. A wild example is the first look of Snow White 2025 that gave us now CGI dwarfs and not actual dwarfs. So what's that all about? It's all about embracing DEI, but it's all about excluding, this, and that group, or those types of people. That's what Disney's all about, and that's why I always say it's hypocritical in nature, it's heavily flawed, it makes no sense, and it does not come from good intentions at all. It's all about picking and choosing what they want to do that best serves them. So what's interesting about this, though, has a lot to do with Bob Iger's stance on the remakes that are looming. Now, we know that Moana and Lilo and Stitch are a little bit in a limbo mode, alright? The production on that has been a little bit shaky. But everything else, Hercules, Sword in the Stone, it's going to get a heavy DEI treatment. And I don't know about you guys, but those two films, I think, were probably the two big Disney movies that I and a lot of other, males out there that grew up with. That was really like the boys' films back then. Sword in the Stone and Hercules, wildly successful, wildly known in pop culture at this point. And the fact that they want to go after that and change the overall lore and the source material is absolutely ludicrous, and it goes beyond the fictional film itself. So let's go into this further. So what's interesting about that, he goes on to elaborate further. We also look to provide these strategies with our upcoming Star Wars projects, ranging from our films and especially television programs alike, as we look to also transform the franchise with Frozen, using diversity, equity, and inclusion to create opportunities for everyone around the globe. We also look forward to introducing this into our soon-to-be-announced titles that we will make publicly known early next year, as we plan to reboot already established live-action works of films that we have released in years past. Now, separate from what Bob Iger delivered here, alright, this is a must-know, one crucial development that is indeed moving onwards is the creation of a remake of Alice in Wonderland 2010, and, to top it all off, as well as Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella, all of which will be getting the DEI treatment to this roster for the later half of the 2020s as well, that will get an official announcement by the middle point of 2024. This is a strategy Disney has been working on now for the past 12 months to create a new era of Disney entertainment for a new generation. As Bob pointed out, that will only create more difficulty for the company and ensure its failure at the box office for these films. And you know what? It's true. When will Disney ever learn? When will they ever learn from their mistakes? And I've pointed this out several times too. It's almost like they love to self-sabotage. It's almost like they love to lose money in the film industry and on Disney Plus as far as ratings go. Did they not see what happened with Indiana Jones 5, The Marvels, and what's about to happen with Fantastic Four and Blade 2025? It's really not going to work in their own ways that they think it's going to work out to be. And at the same exact time, look, we know that Disney's not going to stop with this nonsense until they truly and absolutely hit rock bottom, where pretty much everyone, universally is just rejecting Disney at that point, where it impacts on all fronts. The Disney parks, streaming, all other business models like Hulu and ESPN. I mean, it really has to hit them hard for them, I think, to truly wake up and turn things around against their will. So, and again, I think that Bob Iger is going to make it like that this is coming from good intentions when it's not. And everything related to ESG and DEI, I've pointed this out too, is that it's never something good for a story, because when you focus on that too much, you're not focusing on proper storytelling, you're not focusing on proper character development that could blossom into either, let's say, a trilogy or a full-fledged franchise, or even getting a direct sequel. If you make a bad movie, fans are not going to want to come back, period, the end. And that's just how it works, through and through. So overall, guys, drop a comment below, fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for it today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.